What's going on, people of YouTube? Zen's here, back again, and today I'm going to be doing a deck profile of my Xyz deck that I made all by myself because I'm just a big boy. Anyway, let's get into the cards and how to run this deck. So, I made this deck just because I was bored, I think it was 2 days ago now, maybe 3, and because I really like Xyz monsters, XYZ. I don't know if I pronounced this correctly, so I'm just going to call them XYZ. I won't pronounce it that slowly, obviously, but just so that nobody gets pissed off or anything. Anyway, this is my XYZ deck, and I just made it the other day because I was bored, and it was actually doing pretty decent, and I kept making adjustments to it because I noticed that it was slow in some parts, and then I finally got it to the point where I think it is actually very playable, especially on WiGo Pro, probably on Dueling Network 2. I haven't done it on there yet, but this deck is pretty cool. It's not so much an OTK deck. It's more to play against your opponent and what deck they're playing. It's to adapt on what they are playing and to go against that. So anyway, let's get started. So we have, let's go, I guess we'll go backwards because these are the cards that are somewhat important to begin with. So we have 2 Rescue Rabbits. We're running 2 because it's obviously an XYZ deck, so I mean Rescue Rabbit's just the way to go. And then we have, for those Rescue Rabbits, we have Noble Knight, Artorigus, who is 1800 attack, 1800 defense, and then we have a Dark Blade as a dark monster. So 1 light, 1 dark, and then obviously we're going to throw in a BLS because, I mean, he's just too good, and you can put him in basically any deck that you have light and dark monsters in, and he will just come in handy no matter what. And sometimes you can get low on cards and just you're stuck, and that's why I also threw in a Gourds, just in case you got some direct damage. Gourds is just too good anyway. He's just such a good card to draw and play against your opponent, so throw one of those in there too. And then for the other key monsters, we have 2 Summoner Monks, which are just amazing, and that's why I also have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 magic cards. Or magic, they're spell cards. Old school Yu-Gi-Oh days. But that's for the Summoner Monk, and we have stuff like 2 MSTs, 2 Star Changers, 2 Forbidden Dresses. I play Forbidden Dress over Forbidden Lance because I feel like Forbidden Dress just comes in so many more situations, especially because it adds monster effects, because it's targets. It's not just spell or traps effects. So that's why I always play a Dress instead, because then it can sometimes not be targeted by a monster effect or anything. So. And it can't be destroyed when when this is played on it. So that's my reasoning for it. And then obviously you're gonna have to have the holy trinity of spell cards. I did it again. Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm. And then I also threw in some XYZ units, which are just basically an XYZ material to attach to your monster, and it also is it gives them more attack. Rank times 200, so level 4 would be 800 attack plus. So I mean, it's just a good card in general. And then if you were to activate an effect, you could use this as an XYZ material, so, or detach it or whatever. And then we're also playing 3 XYZ Reborns and 3 Call the Haunteds, because it's just to get monster cards back on the field to use again for an XYZ summon. And then if one of your XYZ monsters gets destroyed, you can obviously XYZ Reborn it. So basically, just XYZ monsters are your key thing, and getting monster cards on the field to XYZ summon is your basis for winning duels with this deck. And then this is the other key card right here, is Star Drawing. What you want to do with this deck is, if you draw a Star Drawing, you just want to keep using it for an XYZ material and keep detaching it every time that you use it. So let's say I get this out with a Solar Windjammer, because obviously if I draw this first turn with this, you can special summon the Solar Windjammer because you don't control any monsters, And then normal summon, the star drawing, which its effect is, it's also, when it is used for an XYZ summon, you can treat it as a level 5 monster. And then when an XYZ monster is summoned, you can draw 1 card with this material. So it's just such a good card. It's so ridiculous. It can be used as a level 4 or a level 5, and you get to draw a card when you XYZ summon. It's just basically the key card. And then once you do XYZ summon, you're going to want to like detach that as your first effect so that you can get it back out with a Call of the Haunted or a Monster Reborn or anything like that. And then we're also running 3 Goblindbergs and 3 Tin Goldfish because, you know, I mean, just to get more cards out on more monster cards out on the field. When it's normal summon, you can special summon 1 level 4. When it's normal summon, you can special summon 1 level 4. I mean, that's just basic XYZ deck. And then the Star Changers, I mean, if you draw 1 and you have a Tin Goldfish and then you have a Solar Windjammer or something, then obviously that would get that Tin Goldfish to level 5, and then you could XYZ summon for a level 5 monster. So, anyway, that's all the cards. I think I've gone over all of them. Yeah. So, yeah, the Star Drawing is basically your best friend in this deck. And then, for our extra deck, we'll start from this side. The Evil Swarm Nightmare is basically your stall card if you don't want your opponent to special summon anything that's going to do some damage. When an opponent special summons a monster, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, change that monster into face down defense position so it negates their effects. I mean, that's basically just a good card in general, and that's usually with Dark Blade that you'll get that out, so you'll rescue Rabbited or something. And then Gagaga Cowboy is just a great card if you need to pop one of your opponent's monsters off the field because it has a lot of attack or something, because this gains 1,000 attack and theirs lose 500. So I mean, it gets up to 2,500 attack and then theirs loses 500. So it's a pretty good pop card. And then also if you're just going for an OTK or something, you can special summon it and then inflict 800 points of damage when it's in defense position. It also has 2,400 defense, so it's another good card to get out. Maestroke, obviously, because it's basically the Zen mains of level 4s for XYZs. The only thing different is that it's not... it's got its ups and downs. You don't get to pop cards when you have to detach an XYZ material when this card would be destroyed, but the great part about Maestroke is you can detach an XYZ material and then target an opponent's monster and then put that to face down defense position so you can negate effects with it. It's just a great card. I mean, this is just one of the best cards in this deck, and it's one of your best friends, really. It's normally like the first turn summon. If you don't know what to do, if you're going first, then get out Maestroke because he's just a great card to have out. I just put this in. I haven't used this yet. It's Starliege Paladinamo. It looks like a great card to use in a lot of situations. You can detach 2 XYZ materials to target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. The target's attack becomes 0 and negate its effects. Negate its effects. When this card on the field is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or by card effect, and sent to the graveyard, draw 1 card. So, I mean, that's just a really good card in general, because if it does get destroyed, you get to draw a card, and then also that effect is just really good because you can basically negate any monster on their side of the field and make its attack 0, so do 2,000 damage, I should say, to your opponent, and that's used with the Noble Knights, or it's a level 4, so it's not Solar Wind, but anyway, go on to a Diamond Dire Wolf. I mean, that's just good for popping any card you want to get off the field. Kachi Kochi Dragon, if you're going for an OTK, usually, you can, and they have a monster on the field, this card would be able to attack that card, and then attack again if it destroys an opponent's monster. Black Ship of Corn is just an amazing card, because one of the greatest things in this effect is the fact that it doesn't say destroy. It says, when you detach an XYZ material, target 1 monster your opponent controls with attack lower than this card, which has 2,100, so it's pretty good. And then send that target to the graveyard, not destroy. That's why it's such a good effect. Because so many cards say stuff like it can't be destroyed by card effects or can't be destroyed, blah, blah, blah. But this just says send that target to the graveyard. That's why this is such a good card to have in your deck. That's a way to get around a lot of effects. And then it also inflicts 1,000 damage when you do, so it's just a very good card in general. And then a Shockmaster, because, I mean, if your opponent's running a deck with a lot of spells or a lot of monsters effects or a lot of traps, you can just, I mean, it's pretty easy to get out 3 level 4s to get this card out and then stall your opponent. Utopia, because it's just another good stall card, and it's got a high attack. It's got 2,500 attack, and then you can also negate negate attacks from your opponent. So, I mean, if you don't want to, if there's a card that doesn't allow you to target it, and you don't want to get attacked, Utopia is just a good card to get out. A Shark Drake, 3 level 4s. It's basically like a Paladin ammo, because it detach 1 Xyz material from this card. Special if it destroys an opponent's monster, you special summon that target, and then it loses 1,000 attack, and you get to attack it again. So it's just another damage type thing to your opponent, and it's 3 level 4s. You don't really need this card. I just threw it in there because I didn't really know what other cards I could be putting in here. I actually haven't used it once. Volcasaurus is just such a good level 5. This is probably one of your best level 5 monsters, because it's basically like a black ship of corn, but it's the original attack of the monster that you send to the graveyard. And it does say destroy the target, not send to the graveyard, but it's the original attack. And then it doesn't say that you can't attack this turn, but you can attack directly. So if you do destroy an opponent's monster on the field with this effect, you can't attack directly if that was their only monster, but that's why I threw in Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Champion, because you can just immediately XYZ summon on top of Volcasaurus and then attack with 2,600 points of damage. So that's a pretty good combo that's used. There's a lot of turbo decks that do that. There's actually an OTK turbo deck with Volcasaurus, but I don't want to base it just around him. I made it more because I wanted to use a bunch of XYZ cards. And then we have Tyrus, the Keeper of Genesis. That's just a really good level, another really good level 5, because it can't be destroyed by card effects, and it's got 2,600 attack. And then when it attacks or is attacked, target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy that target at the end of the battle phase. So really good effect, but the only downside is obviously that you have to detach an XYZ material at the end phase of each of your end phases, and you only have 2 of them. But that's once you get down to 0 or 1, if you can just obviously throw on a Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Champion, if you want to. So, I mean, that's why I threw 2 of these in here, because they're just so useful. And then Adrus, Keeper of Armageddon. Wow, that was really hard for me to figure out how to pronounce, but that's just another. You can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, and destroy it. Another good pop card. And you don't even have to sacrifice. You don't even have to tribute this card. You can just immediately pop something that's face up on the field with a level 5. So there is the deck. It does run very well. For at least as many times as I've used it on Wygo Pro, and there's just so many combinations you can do, and it's really fun. That's the thing that I love about it. You basically never do the same thing twice. You never go for an OTK, or you never try the same thing over and over again. There's just so many ways you can win duels, and that's why I like it so much. So there it is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Maybe leave it a like, and be sure to watch my next upload. That will probably be another duel from Wygo Pro. I actually am I created an Athena OTK deck, if you guys had seen that. I just thought of it today, and I put it together, and it's worked the first duel I put it in. So I've only done 1 duel, but we'll see, and then I'll see if I can get some gameplay of that and upload that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like. I'm Xyz, and I love you all very much, and I'm out. Peace!